everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. My name's Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Today, I'm a little later than normal because I had my team meeting this morning. So usually I come on about 11 o'clock on Saturdays. But today I'm here at 1. And I decided to play with shaving cream. I don't know, have you ever done this before? It's been a long time since I've done one of these cards where you create kind of a marbled background using shaving cream and your re-inkers. It's a really fun and messy project, but it's a great way to make a bunch of cards all at once. And that's kind of my plan today is I am heading to Stampin' Up! Backstage on Saturday of next week. And I thought I might make some of these backgrounds and make some swap cards to take with me. So I'm going to make a couple today. I'll see how quickly this dries because you do have to kind of let it dry. And we'll see how my card goes. Then I'll decide, I guess, if I take them to backstage or not. All right, let's get started. This is such a fun technique, and so hopefully you like it. Now, I borrowed my husband's shaving cream. So one of the things, and I have to say, I actually don't know if this is scented or not. So what you need is shaving cream, the white shaving cream, not the gel. And what you need to do, what you really want is the one that is not scented, because otherwise you will end up with a really smelly cracked area. Yeah, Cindy, it's definitely a really old technique. All right, I'm going to shake this up. The other thing I've got handy are some baby wipes and some paper towel. So what you want to do, shake up the shaving cream. And you're going to kind of create this is why you can make more than one card. Okay, let's kind of see. I've got a real pile here. So I'm using some parchment paper. I was going to try and find some wax paper. Didn't have any. You could use a paper plate. But what you want to do, hey Betty, welcome. Hey Joey. What you want to do is kind of create a mound of the shaving cream. Now I decided I was going to use Orchid Oasis and Fresh Freesia. A couple of colors that you want so that you can get kind of a difference in the colors. So now I'm just going to put some drops. This is the Orchid Oasis. Hopefully that's enough. And then I'm going to go in and do the same. So you can see why you end up with so much, and you could make so many cards with this. All right, so hopefully that's enough. We'll see. Now I've got the end of a paintbrush, just an old paintbrush. What you want to do is just grab something so that you can kind of stir these together. We'll see. I might have to add some more. I'm kind of losing some of the color. Okay, yeah, I'm going to add some more. All right, just because I just don't think I've got enough color. So play with it. It's better to add too little than too much, I guess, to start. And you don't want to stir it together so that you end up with just, a solid color. You do want the different colors that you can kind of see. So I'm trying not to stir it actually together. But I am trying to kind of mix it so I'm not getting this blob. Okay, I think I've got kind of the pretty color. Now I've got two pieces of basic white, and I have cut them 4 inches by 5 1/4. For my cards, I think I'm going to actually cut them down once I've got the shaving cream. So the first thing, just take your card, your basic white card base, and spread it down into the shaving cream. Oops, and I just didn't get enough here in the middle. Hopefully that'll pick up some. Oh. All right, well that was an interesting exercise. Let's bring some of this back here. this is why it's messy. I'm going to try and pull this out of the way. So what I want to do, I'm trying to set this down. I've got a big blob here. So the reason I've got my second piece is I'm going to take this piece and smush it. And I have got quite the mess going. All right, so this is why I've got paper towel and I've got baby wipes. So this shaving cream does have a bit of a smell to it. All right, and then take and lift this off. Okay, so I've got my two pieces here, and I'm going to try and leave them. And I'm going to put this kind of out of the way, pick up some of this shaving cream that I got going on. There we go. I'm going to use this later and do some more cards. Put this behind me. And I'm going to use some baby wipes to try and clean up this. Just so I haven't got such a mess. It doesn't matter if you get the shaving cream and the color on the back. So let's just bring one of these. Now, what you want to do, grab some paper towel. And I'm just going to take, and hopefully this works. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this technique. I'm just going to try and pick up some of the shaving cream. I'm patting this down into my card base. So now I'm just going to go and pick this. So you can see once you kind of wipe the shaving cream off, you can kind of see. Now mine's not quite so marbled as I would have liked, but it's still a really pretty background. And I'm okay that I've got kind of white edges. As I said, I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And now I'm going to do the same to the other piece. Let's move that out of the way. Ooh, this one's even better. I think this was the first one I did. It's got more of the mess. Yeah, so definitely having baby wipes and paper towel handy is a key to this. So this is really pretty. This was the first one I did, and it's definitely pretty, but so is this one, just a little bit different. Now, your paper will get a little bit wet. All right, and so I'm just going to bring in my heat tool. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me, and just dry this a little bit so that I can actually put a card together. Yeah, I think it's quite pretty. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this. I just want to try and dry it. It's very wet. All right, it is quite wet, but I think I can make the cards using it. So I'm going to just make one card. Now, I said I was going to cut this down a little bit. So this piece was 5 1/4, 4 inches by 5 1/4. So I'm going to trim this to be 3 3/3 by 5. And I'm going to be very gentle with it because it is a little wet and soft. So I'm just going to take and trim gently. There we go. I might as well do this one while I've got. So let's take this and trim this to be 3 3/4. I think this one's going to be pretty too. Just a very different effect, which is the kind of thing you would expect when you do this. You won't get two backgrounds that are the same. I only have enough. I only brought enough supplies over here to make one card. So we'll make one card with this. So let's see what I've got here. So I've got a piece of Orchid Oasis cardstock that I've cut 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we're going to score it
at 4 1/4. And as always, I've got my bone folder. This is the side I scored on. This has got the raised line. So always fold into that raised line and get a good crease with your bone folder so it lays flat. Now, and then I cut a piece of fresh freesia that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And a piece, that's my piece that was now cut to 3 3/4 by 5. This is very wet. So I think I'm going to just, hopefully it will adhere. Just feeling like it's, all right, well, we'll try. I'm going to use liquid glue. I don't have any Stampin' Seal. So hopefully this will stick. Again, having this dry on its own and naturally as opposed to with the heat tool just definitely would be better. Now I have some ribbon. I think I'm going to use this. I'm going to layer these two together. So this is the Fresh Freesia Open Weave ribbon, and then the Orchid Oasis Metallic woven ribbon. So I'm going to layer these two together, and I'm going to wrap it around my card base. So in some ways a pretty plain card in that I'm not doing any stamping on it with the exception of the sentiment that I'm going to stamp. So adding some extra ribbon just to kind of, you know, fancy it up a little bit is kind of nice. So to having this double layer of the ribbon, keep my ribbon together. I kind of lost that one. Okay, let's get this one. Okay. Trying to keep these layered together. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take a little bit of tear and tape. Like I said, I don't have any Stampin' Seal here, so let's just use a little piece of tear and tape to hold my ribbon in place. Just make sure I'm leaving enough so I can tie a bow. There we go. That will just hold that in place. That will bring, okay, and then I'm going to use a glue dot on top of that to hold the Orchid Oasis in place. There we go. Just so I don't lose it. There we go. Okay, so that'll hold those two in place. Just give me some extra. Okay, there we go. All right, and I'm going to tie my bow here on the right, what will be the right hand side of my card. Trying to hold them in that they're. There we go. All right. Now let's tie bow. Now I always, and I said this before, I always try and tie my bow upside down. So I'm just going to turn my card and tie upside down. I can control where the tails go if my card is, at least for me, upside down. Reaching. These are the tweezers that come with the embossing kit, so let's use those to kind of hold that in place. Let's get that tight like that. Hold this in place. There we go. So now I can let go. So that one, the tail can go underneath, and then this one can fold down towards it. crease these and fuss a little bit with the tails. I want a fairly small bow. Pulling it tight helps to control it and allows you to fuss with it a little bit. Or if it's too loose, you'll struggle probably with trying to get it to the size you want. There we go. This one. All right, where's my bow? Where's my, there. Okay, and then I'm gonna just, as I said, I've got my my four tails in this case, kind of not going all in the same direction, but it looks, I think it looks kind of pretty. Shows them off. All right, now let's put this on. Hey Sherry, welcome. Almost out of glue here. Pretty soon I'm going to have to top that up too, because then I'll be out of glue, out of liquid glue and Stampin' Seal. I have some over on my other space. Okay. So this is still very, very damp. So I might have to kind of reinforce it. Okay, so there's my card base for the most part done now, and I've got the piece for the inside of the card. I missed grabbing some of my ink, so let's grab some ink. Okay, so I've got Orchid Oasis ink, and then I was going to use a sentiment from the Splendid Thoughts stamp set. I thought maybe this either Sending Hugs or Let's Celebrate, but maybe we'll do the Sending Hugs. And I'm going to cut that out using one of the banners. These is the Stylish Shapes, not Stitch, Stylish Shapes. So I think that will be perfect if I use the second largest or the second smallest banner. So let's stamp the Sending Hugs in Orchid Oasis. Like that. And then I'm going to cut this out. I think I've left enough room. Yeah, okay. I'm going to just take a piece of Post-it note tape to keep this in place so it doesn't slip. And I'm going to bring I've got my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I think this will just fit through. So we will cut that banner out, and then I'm going to cut a second banner out of Orchid Oasis so that I can layer my banners and make it look like I've got a mat behind it. So there's the white one. And we'll cut another one from Orchid Oasis. I love my little mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It just makes it so easy when I don't have a lot of room, but sometimes my paper is too big. So I'm going to take and cut my banner. Often I go lengthways. This time I'm going to cut in half this way. So I'm going to have my extra pieces out on each side. So I'm just going to take and put a little bit of liquid glue on each side, and then we can take and just adhere these, trying to get it to kind of the same distance from each end. There we And this, we will use some dimensionals. So put some dimensionals on the kind of seams to hold them in place. And I kind of zigzag or stagger my dimensionals so that this is quite wide. And if you stagger them, your sentiment piece won't wobble in the middle or sag in the middle. And we're just going to take and adhere that right there. Okay, and then the last thing for the front is these are the In Color decorative matte dots. And I think I still have some in, yes I do, in, I have no Sweet Sorbet left. So let's just take and use some of these that are the Orchid Oasis. And I'm just going to put them on here because I think that they'll kind of disappear if I put them onto the background. These away. And then the last thing I want to do is I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. So I'm just going to adhere this on. There it is. I'm trying to find my liquid glue that disappeared. And I'm going to take and I will, actually I could do a stamp on the inside from the Splendid Day. That's what I will do. Should have done that before I adhered it, but I wasn't thinking. So, hey, Polly, welcome. So let's just take and maybe we'll use this one. I think this is a eucalyptus leaf. And we will stamp that in Orchid Oasis on the inside. Like that. Maybe we'll put this. This is kind of an abstract stamp. So unless you color it, you won't get, it's not intended to be perfectly matched. So I am just going to kind of stamp like that. So I've stamped off just so it's not quite so dark, and then stamped over it. So it definitely isn't intended to be colored. Sorry. Drop the stamp set on the ground. Sorry about that. All right, so there you go. Now, like I said, my background is still quite wet, so my card needs to dry here. But I think that's quite pretty, even though it's not as marbled as I was hoping it would be. I still think that they're pretty backgrounds, and I think that I will make some more of these while I've got that pile of shaving cream that I've colored. I'll make some more of these and I'll take them to backstage with me in New Orleans next week. All right, thanks for joining me, everybody. So I will be live again on tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific. And then Tuesday night is my sketch challenge. And then Thursday night will be a mystery challenge. After that, the week starting the 20th, I won't be live on my normal times. I think that my friend Diane and I, who I'm traveling to New Orleans with, we'll try and come on and do some lives, but we won't be taking any of our supplies to be doing crafting, but maybe we'll show you some of the sights and sounds of New Orleans because we're really excited to be going. Don't forget, if you are interested, if you live in Canada and you're interested in any of my upcoming events or monthly card kits, the Perched in a Tree Your Creativity Await kit registration, which is August kit, closes tomorrow. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And if you're interested in our Christmas card buffet class, which is on September 10th, featuring Decorated with Happiness, the registration for that closes on August 18th, and the cost for that one is $75 and includes the stamp set plus 10 make and take projects. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. We will see you tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific. Thanks for joining. Happy stamping. Bye.